Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
If you want to know anything about fruit tree pruning, it's time for Hannah Zwartz. Hi Hannah, you better take over.
Oh, kia ora, Tanya. Yeah.
Fruit tree pruning.
Fruit tree pruning, yeah. So it is a good time of year for prune in June, if the saying goes, because the trees are dormant, or, fruit trees, but also roses, grapes, a whole lot of things like being pruned when they've dropped their leaves. In particular, the pip fruit, that's the apples and pears. They do well with a winter prune. So it's one of the things that I actually get the most questions about in my work, because it can be quite daunting. Anyone thinks they can prune a tree, but to prune a fruit tree, you want to know what you're doing.
Oh yeah, because if you nip off the wrong bits and then it doesn't fruit the next season.
Yeah. So it really pays to just do a bit of research first. And I just wanted to mention a new book that's just been published last week by Kath Irvine, who was the green gardener before I did the job, and has Edible Backyard up in Oha, where you can go and do fantastic courses and see her wonderful acre garden with orchard and veggies and chooks and everything. So it's been a labour of love for years and years and years for her to distill her knowledge into a book that's locally relevant, and it's just come out. Have a look on the Edible Backyard website for more information about that, because there's a real art to pruning a fruit tree well, and it comes down to knowing each tree. Apples you need to prune differently to peaches, you need to prune differently to plums, so yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
That's why I don't have fruit trees.
But it's not that it's difficult, it's just that you need to engage your brain. And
thanks.
The more you do it, the better you get at it. So Kath's approach is not to be scared. Don't be scared of pruning it, because it's good for the tree. If you don't prune it, it's probably worse. But just to think about what you're doing, especially in the early years. It's really important to prune your trees well in the first 3-5 years that they go in, because that's creating the whole shape. It's a bit like little kids, they say those first few years are really, really important.
So, I've heard with bushes, I don't know about tree pruning, but if you sort of chop them down on the top, then they go bushier outwards. Is it the same with fruit?
It can be. So each cut you make will have a reaction from the tree. So that's why you need to know what you're aiming for, so that you know where to cut and what buds to leave and so on.
Right.
Yeah, but anyway, Kath's a lot better at explaining it than I am. I can recommend her book.
All right, so the Edible Backyard website's where you'll find all that information. Okay then, thank you for coming in this afternoon, and we will catch you again tomorrow afternoon.
Kia ora.
106.3 Beach FM.